this is just a comfortable thing. And for those people to be like, this is not okay, it's them admitting that they are also failing their children. It's not just that they are admitting that their parents failed them, is that they are admitting that they, in some ways, they are failing their children. And this is very hard, and not everyone is ready to do this. That's why also people stay stuck in really crappy jobs their whole lives, because they are just like, but they yes, last month they told me I was doing a good job. I don't want to fail them. Like they are, it's just this mentality that you need to be able. It's like in Matrix. You need to be able to take the pill. You need to want to take the pill. If you don't want to do it, then there's no one who can force you. It's just.
That's a good example because I love the Matrix movies, and it's like Cypher in the Matrix where he knows it's bad. He knows it's fake. He knows it's not going anywhere. But he's like, I'm still willing to accept this form of reality versus what is actually the true reality. And he made a choice. And similar to a lot of these parents, it could be that, as you mentioned, they just don't want to admit that something is wrong. Like when we look at the schools and the information that they put out there, it seems that dysfunction within the education system is on the rise with the kids, right? They're undisciplined, they're unmotivated. There's all these problems, which, if true, strictly points back to the parents because it's not the responsibility of the educators to referee other people's children. But the parents have their own excuses. What do they say? I work too much. It's just me. I'm a single parent. My child is this. It's something that you're doing. The blame or the responsibility always seems to be pushed outward instead of maybe it being taken inward and saying that, you know what, my child is behaving this way because of something I did or something I didn't do in their life. So when you mention so let's excuse those. When you mention the parents who want to make that change, who want to make that leap in the right direction, what are some of the early conversations you have with them to help them know that they're on the right steps?
So a very fast question to that before I go back to what you were saying. If you want to change, you're already on the right step. That's it. There's nothing else. But going back to what you were saying about why kids nowadays are more indisciplined than before. When I was in school, if I misbehaved, I would get, slapped by the teacher. It was just an acceptable thing in schools. It's just nowadays, those teachers would go to jail probably. Right? So it's like the school system has changed. So a lot of the authoritarian style that was, from the old days is no longer present in schools. So that also changes how the children behave in schools. And then one thing I'm going to say that is not a popular opinion, and but I have to say it, is that children who are raised like millennials and Gen X, that we were raised by authoritarian people, when we are completely, we had no support emotionally from our parents. We were raised in a way that we have to learn things by ourselves. When now put into this society, right? Because it was a cycle, right? Our great grandparents raised our grandparents like that, and then they raised, but they were all living kind of in a village where everyone was supporting each other, and the uncle was saying, "Hey, kids, stop that!" And nowadays, we live in this society where we are basically just for ourselves. We don't have a big family around us, most of us. In schools, they are no longer being authoritarian to our kids. And we feel very overwhelmed because suddenly this is the first generation where you have so many responsibilities. Like you are expected to intervene. So like when I was a kid in kindergarten, if there was one party a year, it was too much. And my parents probably didn't go because, waste time for that. Nowadays, there's like one every month and you are expected to go. And if you don't go, you're a bad parent, which means you need to take time off of work, and on top, so there's all these demands that are put on the parents, and especially the moms, that they just feel very overwhelmed. And because they didn't grow up with the emotional tools that help them with this resilience, they are not resilient. And they deal with this and here comes the unpopular opinion, a very neglectful style sometimes, when it's like that. what I was saying before. I don't have time for this. I don't have patience for this. Go and watch your laptop so that I can have a little time. And this is okay. I also do that. I'm not perfect either. I think every parent nowadays does this sometimes, but it's different doing that, let's say 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, because you really need to breathe, and really turning your tablet into a babysitter. Because there are studies that show that children this young, they are not, their brain is because everyone knows that those things are addictive, right? When we are just scrolling, it's just, but we have like adult brains, and children have a very underdeveloped brains. So this really impacts the way their brain works, and their attention span is really so that's why they have problems then focusing in school, for instance, because they just want to scroll, and the teacher doesn't scroll, right? The teacher is just there, very boring, talking in a boring way, and they are not used to that. So what I'm saying is that those parents, they can change. Even if you've been raising your child like that all the time, it's never too late. You can always change. It's never too late. As I said, you can spend the whole day being a crappy parent. If you apologize at the end of the day, that will make a world of a difference. But you need to want to change, and you need to be able to say, okay, it's not okay what I'm doing, because and it comes because of the way I was raised myself. And you need to be able to do all this. This is an inner work that everyone needs to be able to do by themselves, right?